friends. This is another episode of Aslan Speaks. And today I'm going to talk about a subject called false twin flames. And previously on this channel, I talk about twin flame relationships and the signs of a twin flame relationship. And how, like, I tell you the signs, how you could tell if you met your twin. Now, in my book, Hidden Knowledge, Gained Wisdom, I dive deep on twin flame relationships. Like, I go really in depth, On my video, I talk just briefly on it. But now I want to share with you false twin flames. And then give you the signs to look for. So when you see these signs, you know you can run for the hills. The minute you see, if anything in this video resonates with you, you're most likely with your false twin flame, and it's time to move on before you get hurt even more, before you get drained even more. So in my book, it's up behind me right there. All three of my books are up behind me. In my book, Hidden Knowledge, Path to the Divine, I go into depth and detail about false twin flames, the signs, and I go really in depth through my own personal battle with this subject of false twin and twin flame relationships. In a true twin flame connection, there's no second thought. There's no doubting yourself. There's not that inner voice always constantly in your head making you question your relationship. That's one of the biggest things, guys. Like, when you're on this path of, is it my twin or not my twin? Yes, there's struggles with it when you meet your twin. Definitely, there's struggles. But a false twin flame, you're basically every day you're like, does this person love me? I don't think they love me. Their actions are showing that they don't love me or they don't care for me. When you're constantly in battle with your mind, if a relationship's right for you, that's one of the telltale signs that it's not right for you, because your intuition, your soul, your intuition is your moral compass, or your inner knowing compass that guides your life. And we often talk ourselves out because we're just human and we're flawed. But the fact is, if you're constantly waging inner battle with yourself about if you're with the right person, it's a telltale sign that you're not with the right person. Are you waging constant battle with yourself? You gotta ask yourself that, guys. Because when you're with the right person, this is really crucial. Pay attention to this, guys. When you're with the right person, your puzzle pieces or your hearts fit together. But if you're constantly trying to make things work, like if you're trying to, hodgepodge stuff together, or trying to put your puzzle pieces together or your hearts together, and they're not fitting, that tells you everything you know. Like, when you meet your twin, your true twin flame, yes, there's, obstacles and battles and trying to get to know each other and everything, and there's ups and downs in the relationship, but in the end, your hearts fit together, your puzzle pieces fit together in unison, and everything is magical. True twin flame relationship, it's magical. And then at some point, it becomes effortless. But if you're constantly trying to put your puzzle pieces together and nothing's working, and you're constantly waging war in the battle, trying to fight for this relationship to work, it's one of the telltale signs that you're probably in either a toxic relationship or you're not with the right person. And trust your intuition, guys. Seriously. Every time I went against my intuition, my inner knowing, I had really bad toxic relationships. And I'm trying to share this with you guys so that you don't make the mistakes that I have. You don't invest the time and energy into a relationship that in the first week, the second week, your inner knowing is telling you, hey, this person's not right for you. But yet you ignore those signs, and then you put months and all the energy and time into a relationship, and it just fails drastically. And then it depletes you, it makes you sad, it hurts you. So I'm trying to teach you guys how to avoid that. And then ultimately you can find your right person. Because if you learn to just bob and weave through toxic relationships with people that are not meant for you, if you could trust your inner knowing right off the bat, you don't waste your time, and then you can find the right person. So I want to talk about a very, 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 very important subject. The subject is denial. Denial is when you know something to be true, but you refuse to believe it. You keep telling yourself a lie, even though deep down you know the truth. Guys, I've been in denial. I've been with people where I thought they were my twin, but my inner knowing was saying, hey, there's something off. But yet I keep trying to make things work. I tried making those puzzle pieces work, but they weren't working. I was in denial. Are you in denial? It's an important question. You gotta learn to accept the truth. And when you embrace that truth, that's when it gives you the power to be like, you know what? This person is toxic for me. Every time this person comes into my life, I feel drained and depleted. Every time this person comes into my life, I get temporary happiness where I'm happy for an hour or two or a day or two, but then that person leaves, and then the next day or the next week, I'm sad or, sad and brokenhearted. So you gotta learn to get rid of the denial and accept the truth. Because a twin flame, even if you take the labels off of it, a good partner, a good loving person is by your side every day of the week. They call and text you. You are their priority. You are their priority. They love you and you love them. They give to you and you give to them. That is a good relationship. Every relationship has its battles, but if you give to them and they give to you in a loving way and they're just uplift you, that's a good relationship. So it's time to realize if you're in denial or not. Now, a lot of people on this path of seeking a twin flame, like a twin flame connection, or they're one person. Like basically, the twin flame is like you want someone who can complete you and makes you feel whole. Like in the Bible, Adam was alone, and then he made Eve out of his rib, and then God made basically Adam's twin flame, his twin soul, and we all want that connection. Some of us are very sensitive, very emotional or empathic by nature. We're very loving and caring. We want to believe in true love. We want to believe that there is a person out there that is our other half, our yin to our yang. Some of us want that so badly. Often because we're so empathic, or we're so sensitive, caring, and loving people, we often overlook when a relationship becomes toxic, or we often overlook when a relationship gets bad or rocky or toxic for us, because we're so sensitive, we're so caring. We often, some of us, empaths especially, have a savior complex, meaning that we believe, well, there is good in this person, and I'm gonna try to help them and save them and fix them, and then they're going to change, and our relationship is going to over time become magical and uplifting, and they're going to become my twin flame. Let's face it, guys, nobody's going to change unless they want to change. Nobody, also on this twin flame journey, if a person doesn't want to accept it, believe in what you believe in, then they're not really your true partner, because your twin flame is your mirror soul. And let's face it, sometimes you're entering a relationship and a person doesn't believe in twin flames or soulmates or a spiritual or divine connection. And you gotta accept that. Also, if you have that savior complex, you gotta learn to walk away. You gotta learn to it's hard as a good loving person to be like, hey, I see this person drowning and I love and care for them and I want them to do better. But in the end, if you save them or try to save them, they end up hurting you worse, and you end up getting broken. So learn to put that savior complex away. Because guys, like literally, I've spent years, I've been in denial. That's why, what makes me an expert in the subject, because I've spent years, I've written about it in my books. I've written about love, finding love. I've written about false twin flame relationships. I talk about karmic, soulmate, and twin flame relationships, and I dive deep into those subjects. And I spent over 10 years of knowledge also my own experience through relationships. This is not easy to go through, my friends, because I trust me, I've been there. And if you're watching this video, it's not easy. So you got to face that denial. There's some point in your life you got to face the music in your life. You have to face yourself and stop putting time and energy into sorry guys. Stop putting time and energy into a relationship if it is constantly breaking your heart or draining you of your energy. That's crucial. A good relationship is not draining. If you're constantly you're always walking up that hill, and then you take 2 steps forward and then 10 steps back in a relationship, that's probably it's an indicator, guys. If you're constantly being heartbroken, or you're sitting home days after days wondering where your partner is, or they're not communicating with you, and you're feeling drained emotionally, physically, mentally, that's an indication of a false twin flame relationship. You guys got, if you're sitting at home on your couch day after day and you're like, I love them, I care for them, where are they? They say they love me, but their actions are not showing. That's a good indicator. A true twin flame doesn't constantly drain you. On the other hand, a false twin flame does. So what is a false twin relationship or false twin flame? A fake twin flame is an individual that you will think that is your twin flame, but is actually not. A twin flame is someone that has the personality that essentially mirrors yours. You may have some of the same traits, same weaknesses, same expectations, but in the case of a false twin flame, or a false individual, they seem like you guys are compatible. You guys seem like you fit together. But once you get to know each other deep down, you get to know them better, you find out that that's not the case. Like, once you get to truly know them, because often a false twin, what's called love, is a love bombing. They'll enter into your life, and you think for the first month or two, they'll say everything you want to hear and do everything you want them to do, and you basically it's called love bombing, and they make you think that they love you. Then after that honeymoon phase or love bombing phase, you start seeing through the person, and they start pulling away from you, basically. I've been there. It's one of the hardest things to deal with, is when you're and it mentally messes with your mind, because you're for a month, 2 months, you're this person loves me, this person cares for me. They for the first month or two, they were putting effort into the relationship to make it work. But then all of a sudden, it's like everything flipped upside down, and they're pulling away. The puzzle pieces are not working, and you're like, what? And then you're telling yourself they love you, they care for you, but all their actions are showing differently. I pose the idea that false twin flames come into your lives to steer you away from finding your real twin flame. Yep. Like I talk about in the episode on this channel, negative influences, or physical and non-physical influences on your life. And sometimes in my spiritual awareness, I've come across where you're doing good on your life, and then somebody comes into your life who's mostly negative, or basically on the path of darkness, or whatever you want to call it, and they pull you away. Maybe you find that magical partner, or maybe you even find your twin flame and you don't realize it yet, and then a person comes along and then just pulls you away, through lust, or says all the right things that you want to hear at that time. And if you're not awakened to this, if they pull you away, and basically you get pulled down the false twin path. A false twin is very good at manipulation and knows all the right words to say to you to keep you on that hook. They hook you like a fish, and then they just pull you along. They steer you along. They know what to say and what to do at the right moment of time. They're energy vampires. They only want you for their own personal gain. Maybe it's for your body or for your looks or for your materialism or your wealth, or there's something that you could give to them. But once they basically, the minute they get what they want out of you and you're drained and depleted, they kick you to the can or kick you to the curb like you're trash. They treat you like garbage. And you thought this person loved you and cared for you, but yet they stop texting you, they stop calling you, they stop showing up for you. Pay attention, my friends. But later on, let's say they don't talk to you for a week or two or a month. But later on, they text you and call you. Why? Because the people that they jump to next, they drained them or used them and manipulated them. And either the person that they were with didn't want to tolerate it no more and kicked them to the curb, or they used up all the people that they replaced you with. So they come running back to you to drain you some more. Like maybe you're healing, maybe you've broken up with this person and you're doing the inner work, you're healing, you're going good, you're doing good in life, and then they come back and they just pull you back down. Sign of a false twin, my friends. Because they're energy vampires. False twin relationships or false twin connections usually come into your lives when you're doing good. That's very important. Were you doing good in your life? Were you on top of and achieving greatness? Were you becoming healthy and successful and making good decisions in your life? Well, then they come into your life and then they just pull you down. They pull you back into toxic situations or toxic environments in order to drain you. Often a false twin is linked to the term narcissist. Narcissism is a self-centered personality style characterized as having excessive interest in one's physical appearance or image and excessive preoccupation with one's own needs and selves. Basically, a narcissist is a very selfish person. Narcissists basically use people. And if you're dealing with a toxic partner, look up narcissism. And there's overt narcissism and covert narcissists. Covert narcissists do the poor, pitiful me act a lot to gain your trust. And then once they gain your trust, they use and manipulate the blank out of you. The narcissists tend to only care about themselves. When you're talking to them, they want you to pay attention to their conversation and them. But when you say something and have a conversation, they don't really listen to you. It's like they're on their phone tuning you out. Narcissists also have love triangles, meaning like if they may be pursuing you and you may be in a relationship with you, but secretly they're on talking to other people, lining up a backup, because when they use and drain you, they jump to somebody else. Then they use and drain them. And then once they drain them, they come back to you. False twin flame. Narcissists are very good at using and manipulating people for their own personal gain. Some of them don't have empathy. They don't care if they hurt you. They don't care if they drain you. And they'll say and do everything they can to gain your trust, to gain your love, and then they just use and manipulate you. And narcissism is a mental disorder. So if someone's watching this and they realize, hey, I have narcissistic traits or narcissism, you can learn to heal that aspects of yourselves. So here are 20 signs that you met your false twin flame. Here are the signs that you met your false twin flame, guys. So understanding the signs of a false twin flame can save you from wasting your time and energy. If someone that does not positively contribute to your life, then kick them out. It's one of the hardest things to do when you love and care for somebody. But if they're not positively contributing to your life, if they're not there for you, when you're doing good or when you're, bad, or bad, if they're not there for you in your time of need or when you're sad or depressed, then they don't really love and care for you. They're not positively contributing in your life, then they're toxic for you, and you need to learn to cut the toxic people out. It's one of the hardest things to do, because there's things called a trauma bond. Is when you enter into a relationship and you fall in love, and especially with narcissists, this happens through the love bombing phase. You develop a bond with them. And then you're in denial, and it's called a trauma bond. You still love and care for them, but do they really love and care for you? Does their actions show that they love and care for you? Probably not. So here are the signs, guys. Sign number 1. Whew, guys, this is intense here. Sign number 1. They won't have a serious relationship with you. Someone's in denial, that's a sign. When they're like, I'm with you, but it's really, they're not diving deep into the relationship. They got one foot in and one foot out. They won't have a serious relationship with you. One of the false twin flame symptoms to look out for, which may be the most obvious to you, is that you won't have a serious relationship with them. No matter how hard you try, you may find that it's difficult to get them to be serious about you and make plans for the future. So they'll say they want plans for the future. They say they want to maybe marry you or be a life partner, but their actions are showing the opposite. They won't have a serious relationship with you. You know, they got one foot in, one foot out. And you guys know, your inner knowing, your intuition tells you, hey, there's something off. When you are diving deep in the relationship and giving and giving and giving and doing everything you can possibly can to make things work, and you're putting 110% into it, and they're putting 50% into it, or sometimes even 10% into it, that's a tall tale sign to walk away. It's a false twin flame. So sign number 2, they have stipulations to their love. Sign number 2, they have stipulations to their love. Something else that they may be considering signs of a false twin flame is that they love you, but there's strings involved. Is there strings involved in your relationship? There should never be strings involved. It isn't the type of love that you might be able to, hold on guys, where you might be able to make a mistake and still be loved. So they got like strings, and if you don't do this, this, and this, then they pull back their love, or they won't be intimate with you, or they don't care about you, but you have to do this, this, and that. There's strings attached. You know, you may feel like there are things you can do that will push them away completely. In a true relationship, there's, ups and downs and faults, but you don't push them away. That you guys come together no matter what. So is there stipulations to your love? Because in a true relationship, there's no stipulations. You have to do A, B, C, D, E, and F to be loved. You just love each other. That's a true twin flame. You just love each other through the good and the bad. Sign number 3, they leave your life abruptly. They leave your life abruptly. They tend to disappear a lot. They may be with you for a day or two, and then 2 or 3 days go by and they're gone. You don't hear from them. They don't text you. They don't call you. Then they pop back up for a day, show you love and care, get you to give them love and affection, and then they disappear. Where are they disappearing to? To another lover, another person that they could drain energetically, another person that they can use and manipulate. Because if they truly love you, they're going to be with you. They're not going to put strings to your love. They're going to be by your side every day and night, and they're going to do everything they can to make their relationship work. So they leave abruptly. You may meet this person in your life suddenly, and they might leave your life just as abruptly as they entered it. This indicates that they didn't intend to stick around very long, although this could cause you heartache when it occurs. It's really tough when you love and care for somebody and then they disappear on you and they show up and then they disappear. But it's a sign that they're not really truly committed to you guys. That heartache, it's one of the hardest things to deal with. That's why I'm sharing this with you guys, so you can avoid that. You see these signs, you just, you know what? This person's a false twin flame. I need to not invest in them, and I'm going to find a person that I should invest in. Of course, it will take some time when moving on from a false twin flame relationship. But you may end up feeling wiser after you do. You don't want somebody that leaves abruptly. I call it breadcrumbing. They give you just enough, and then you give them the whole loaf all the time, and then they just give you crumbs. And then they disappear, and then they reappear, Guys, see the signs. Sign number 4. Conversations are shallow. In some situations, you may notice that the conversations you're having with your partner are shallow. That there's no way to get to them to open up about your hopes and dreams, which may give you a clear indication that they're not the right one for you. So that's a clear indication that they're not the right one for you. When they don't open up to you, they don't open up their heart, their emotions and feelings to you. That means they're not investing in you. Because when someone truly opens up and tells them, shares deep, intimate parts of themselves with you, that's a sign that they truly love and care for you. A twin flame relationship, both open up emotionally, mentally, and physically, and just become one, But when you're sitting there trying to tell them over and over how you feel, and they just one ear out the other, or you're in a relationship with this false twin and you're like, hey, you set healthy boundaries and they constantly pushing the boundaries or not listening. They refuse to listen to you. And then they say, hey, I'm gonna listen to you. I'm gonna do this, and this to make our relationship work. But then they constantly are doing the opposite. They're not listening. Conversations are shallow, not meaningful. And then even when they talk to you, they're not opening up. If they don't open up to you, that means they're not planning to stick around. Side number 5. Whew. Guys, I'm very passionate about this subject, and I may get tongue-tied or ramble on, but I want to get the point across. Side number 5, you don't feel right around them at times. Something seems off. Your inner knowing, maybe you're out in the public with them or something inside of you is screaming at you, something's off. But you being a loving, caring person, you choose to ignore that, and that's how you get hurt. I've been there. I saw the red flags. My intuition was screaming at me, walk away. This person doesn't really love and care for you. But me, I had that savior complex. I truly loved and cared for them, so I stuck around and tried to fight for it. And guess what? Left me heartbroken every time. Signs of a false twin flame includes feeling like something isn't right about the person you're dating. Even though you may not be able to determine what is bothering you about them, it could make you feel uncomfortable when you're around them. There's at times you're with them, but you feel uncomfortable. Furthermore, there might be a cause. They might cause you to feel bad about yourself. This is something that you should endure long. You should not endure a long term. So basically, sometimes what false twin flames are good at is flipping the script. So their actions, so they're disappearing on you. They may be texting other people. They may be seeing former lovers. And then when you call them out on it, or they may be doing toxic things or toxic behavior, when you call them out on it, they flip it and be like, you're the crazy one. You're the blah, 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 blah. They flip the script, and then they make you feel like you're in the wrong. Manipulators, narcissists are very good at that. Especially when you truly love and care for somebody, you call them out because you want your relationship to work. You're not doing it because you're trying to use and manipulate them. You're doing it out of a loving place. Because you want to ultimately climb that mountain to that twin flame relationship and have a magical connection. So you see the toxic traits in them or whatever, and it's making you unhappy. So you express your emotions saying, hey, I'm unhealthy or unhappy, and this relationship's unhealthy. So let's do this and this to make the relationship healthy. But then they'll flip it and make you look like you're the crazy one or the bad one. Something feels off. When something feels off, guys, it's time to move on. Sign number 6, you are unsure of their feelings about you. You are unsure of their feelings about you. If you're watching this, are you unsure about your person you're with, if they love you and care for you? That's one of the signs, guys, is if you're unsure that they love you, if you question it over and over again, do they love me? Do they care about me? It's a telltale sign. You might not be aware of you might not be aware of the feelings this person has about you. This can cause you to become upset since you don't know if they're serious about your relationship or not. When they won't tell you how they feel and they also don't show you how special you are to them, This is unlikely the person that you want to continue to date for long term. Like in a twin flame, they tell you, hey, I love you. They tell you, hey, I care about you. They tell you that you're beautiful. They tell you that you're gorgeous. They thank you for the things that you do. Or they do little small gestures of love to show you that they love you. But when you're unsure about their feelings, then you're constantly, because it mentally wears you out, especially if you're a loving person. When you do everything in your power to show that you love them. And then on the second, that's one way, you're pouring out your love, and then you're getting breadcrumbs, like you're unsure, you're unsure about their feelings. Sign of a false twin flame. Because false twins will just give you just enough to hold you in their orbit to use so they can use and manipulate you. Where a true loving person, a true partner, even if you take labels off of it, they don't breadcrumb you. They give 100% to you, and you give 100% to them. Because they genuinely want the relationship to work. Whereas a false twin flame, here's their orbit, you're in their orbit, and they got multiple people in their orbit, and they hop around to people till they drain this person, get money out of this person, get a place to stay out of this person, get love and affection or intimacy from this person, and the cycle repeats itself. That's not a very good person to have in your life. And if you're in denial, there's no orbit. There's no just friends in a true romantic partnership. I've been there before where they're like, hey, even when maybe you were in a relationship with this person, and then all of a sudden, hey, I think we should just be friends. Hey, I think that we should get to know each other better before we get back together. That's a lie. That's a manipulation, because they want you, because maybe a part of them does love and care for you, but they want to love and care from other people. And if you're looking for a real relationship, don't get trapped in that orbit. Because somebody who truly loves you, they're going to make you the priority. They're not going to put you on that back burner and then just come back and forth in and out of your life. Sign 7, you feel them slipping away. You feel that they're slipping away, that your relationship is slipping away. For some relationships, it can be easy to notice when your partner is slipping away from you. I've been there, guys. I've seen it where I had a really good connection with somebody, and then little day after day, week after week, they started pulling away, slipping away. And I was in denial that, I had to face the truth. This person didn't love their actions. Through their actions, it showed that they did not love me. They did not care about me. They did not put whatever they were chasing after. They didn't think about that whatever they were doing was going to cause heartache and break my heart. They didn't think about that. They only cared about their own life. A twin flame thinks about how you feel before they do something, and vice versa. In a good, healthy relationship, you guys both don't do things that will cause hurt in the other. You both come together in love. They may stop seeing you regularly, or they move their things out of your house. Or they might keep their things in your house and then disappear for a day or two, and then come back, play house with you for a couple days, and then disappear for a day or two, or for a couple hours. They gotta see that friend, but they won't tell you anything about them or even let you meet them. But then they disappear, and then they come back. Guys, it's so hard, because when you love and care for somebody, even if they're a false twin flame, it's very hard to walk away from that. But if it's toxic, if you're drained mentally, emotionally, it's time to walk away. If you feel them slipping away, if they're slipping away, it's because they're not putting the energy and time into your relationship. Because maybe they're slipping away because they're putting their energy and time into somebody else or another relationship. Sign 8. They make you remember the bad times. Anytime you find yourself in a relationship with a false twin flame, this could cause you to remember bad times or trauma that you have experienced with them. This may indicate that you have post-traumatic relationship syndrome, and could result in you seeking out therapy. Guys, I've just recently went through all this where I had post-traumatic, or I still have it kind of, post-traumatic relationship syndrome. It was so toxic that even though I made shared beautiful moments with this person, they also did so much toxic things that literally broke me, broke my heart, and then it got to the point where I couldn't sleep at night because I was sitting there hey, I showed this person I loved and cared for them and did everything in my power to show them I'm a loving person. And then they did things that literally went against our relationship. They kept setting fire to the relationship. Maybe I got cheated on, or they kept pursuing other people, or I don't want to go into it, but they make you remember the bad things. In a good, loving relationship, there is bad moments, but every time you're around me, you're uplifted, you're happy. If your partner makes you feel like so this is crucial, guys, because it'll save you down the road. If your partner makes you feel like your mental health is suffering, you should determine what to do, such as ending the relationship or taking some time for yourself. Sometimes you gotta walk away, and that's the hardest thing. Because guys, like me, I'm a loving, caring person. Even if I take labels off of it, if it's a twin flame or false twin, when I enter into a relationship with somebody, I generally love and care for them. But then at some point, you gotta look at, hey, is this person affecting my mental health? Is this person making me to the point where I'm changing myself, changing my beliefs, or if I'm giving and giving until the point I'm drained. Then you gotta take a step back and say, hey, wait, even though I love and care for this person, something about this relationship is unhealthy, and I need to walk away before it gets so bad that I don't even recognize the person I am becoming. It's sad, but you gotta sometimes walk away. Sign number 9, you are giving more than they are. Let me repeat that. And this is when we do this all the time, especially those out there that are sensitive and loving, empathic people. We give to them more than they give to us. We give. We pour out everything we have. We pour out our heart, soul, and mind to this person. Maybe we keep giving them money. Maybe we keep giving them chance after chance after chance. Your relationship is one-sided. One-sided relationships are something that may be problematic in a number of different ways. For example, you may be providing your partner with all of the support they need and require while you aren't giving any support. And this recently happened to me where I was entering a relationship and I literally gave them all the support and attention and affection that they needed to help them. But then when I was sad and hurt, guess what? I was at home alone on the couch, heartbroken. And a twin flame or a true lover, a person who truly loves, when you're on your doing good in life, they're there for you. And when you're sad or lonely, they're there for you. If you're suffering, or maybe their action did something that may hurt you, they'll be there for you to help you heal from that. And vice versa. If they're suffering, they need healing, or if they're sad, you're there for them. When they're doing good in life, you're there for them. But when you're giving and they're not there for you, there's a problem. Especially when, like I said before, they disappear and come into your life and then they disappear. Because they want that. Maybe because there's also where narcissists or false twins, what they do is they get their love and affection from their physical attention from other people. And then they come to you and get their emotional fix from you. They basically have 2 relationships or 3 relationships. They might be physically drawn to other people, but they don't get that emotional involvement, so they come to you for the emotional. There's an emotional relationship and a physical relationship. But in a true relationship, you need both. If they're just taking from you emotionally, cut them. It's sad, but because there's an unevenness in the relationship, you could cause you to feel like you aren't loved or cared about, and it may also lead to you feeling depressed or unwanted. If you feel unwanted and depressed and sad, you're home alone and you're like, wow, like, where's my partner at? False twin flame. You know, guys, this is tough, but walk away. Sign number 10. They aren't helping you grow. They aren't helping you grow. You may help them grow, but they're not helping you grow at all. You might be trying to understand more about how to get rid of a false twin flame when your partner isn't helping you grow. Your false twin flame might be holding you back. Your false twin might be holding you back from meeting your goals and doing good in your life. When you start putting your goals and dreams on the back burner and you're helping your partner out and you start focus on them, and then your passion and your dreams are going to the wasteland and they're not supporting your dreams, sign of a false twin flames. Sign 11. You don't think they're the one. Basically, if you start questioning your relationship, like, maybe they're not the one. When you have that self-doubt in your mind, maybe they're not the one. Maybe they don't love me. Maybe they just want me for my body. Maybe they just want me for my money. If you're starting to doubt that they're not your twin flame, then most likely they're not your twin flame. Sign number 12. They don't support you. They don't support you. One of the many false twin flame stages you may notice is when they don't support you. They don't uplift you. You may do everything in your power to uplift them and be positive and encouraging to help them become their better version of themselves, but they're not giving to you to help empower you, to help you become your best version of yourself. And guys, this leads to unhappiness. Like, if you're constantly unhappy, like if you're like with them for an hour or two and you're happy, but then they disappear on you stuff and you got go days with being unhappy, why deal with that? You want a partner that, even if you don't live together, shows up or communicates with you every day and just uplifts you and makes you happy every day. You may even have sad, bad moments with your good partner, but 95% of the time it's a good connection. 13, you may find that you hide things from them. Like, do you keep things from your partner even though you aren't quite sure why? This could be because you aren't convinced about whether they're trustworthy or not. And me, like, I hold back all the time. I won't show my hand, so to speak, and or give all the time because I have so much to give. But I will not give everything over because I'm an intuitive empath. So I sense when something's off. So I won't truly full-heartedly open up because I know I don't want to get hurt. So I hold things back. But another sign of a false twin flame is because they're hiding stuff from you. If your partner's keeping secrets from you, like real bad secrets or stuff like that, or toxic traits or toxic behavior, there's a telltale sign to walk away. Because if you truly love each other, you both open up, you learn to love and support each other. Your hearts become one. It is difficult to maintain a healthy relationship with someone if the relationship lacks trust. Keep this in mind when you're thinking about yours and her take on determining if you trust them or not. Like, you gotta trust. It has to be trust. And like, even when sometimes you may find a good partner and there was a good loving trust and they did something to break that trust, and now it's like, how do you get back to that stage? Because sometimes you're not able to when they break your trust or disrespect you. Sign 14. They may cause emotional distress. They may cause you emotional distress. Yet another reason how you can know that you're in a relationship with a false twin flame is that they may cause you to feel stress and anxiety. Like, when you're with a person, you want to feel at home. You want to feel safe. You want to feel completed. Like, you don't want to wake up and you can't sleep because, your person's not by your side. They're on their phone texting away and they're not telling you who they're talking to. And yes, everyone has a free will to talk to people. But in a loving relationship, there's no secrets. There's no shadiness. There's no disappearing. And they don't cause you emotional distress. And over time, when you're constantly emotionally distressed, it breaks you down till you're a point of you're just a shell. You're broken. You're mentally, emotionally drained. why, if you start seeing signs of that you're having anxiety, that it's impacting your health, impacting your life, your sleep schedule, your ability to eat and get through daily routines, if it's starting to impair your productivity in a way, time to walk away. Guys, I just, like, I've been through this, guys, where I'm a very driven person. I'm a very positive person. And when I did spiritual work and I never really felt depression. Yeah, when I was a teenager in my early 20s, I was depressed and sad on and off, but I learned to conquer that. But when it starts like mentally breaking you down to you can't sleep and it's affecting your life to the point where you can't function as a human being, time to walk away. That's a false twin. They're just draining you. Energy vampires, that's what they do. Because they attach to they target very positive, loving people. Because they know they're inner knowing to the hey, this person got a gas tank full of positive, loving energy. And maybe the vampire doesn't have that. So they just latch on and they just suck you dry. And the minute you're drained and depleted, they disappear. And then they suck somebody else dry. And then they come back to you when you're doing good in life and they suck you dry. But that can cause like a mental breakdown in you. That can cause emotional distress. Sign number 15. You don't overcome things together. You don't overcome things together. Have you found that you are not able to overcome problems or obstacles with your partner? This is an indication that you're not their soulmate or twin. You're not their twin flame. A true relationship, you grow together. You compromise and come up with solutions together. But when they say they're going to compromise, but they're not doing it, and then you're doing all the compromising, that's a telltale sign. A true twin flame relationship, you both give 50-50. Your hearts become one. Your puzzle pieces fit. You both do the work to come together and you unite in a loving way. But if you're not overcoming things, if you're trying to be like, hey, I see this battle or struggle in our relationship, let's see what we can do to fix the problem. But they're kind of fixing it, like kind of working on it, but then they disappear. When you can't overcome things together, what's the point? Like, especially us empathic souls or loving, caring people, we're like, you know what? I see that they're struggling in life. I'm going to do everything in my power to help them. And then, let's face it, they choose, like, some people choose darkness or that toxic behavior. They're addicted to it. You have to be like, you know what? I can't change them. They're going to change. They're going to choose what they're going to choose. And you got to walk away at some point and save yourself. You got to learn to walk away and save yourself. Hardest thing. And it will cause you heartache. Like, I'm a loving person. I don't want to give up on love. I don't want to give up on caring about somebody. When I tell you I love you, I mean that from the depths of my soul. Let me repeat that. When I tell somebody that I love them, I mean that from the depths of my soul, my very fiber. And I don't say that very often to anybody. But when you can't overcome obstacles together, or they choose, they got this loving, caring, compassionate person that truly loves them, who wants them to see them grow and blossom into an amazing human being. But yet they choose to be around the toxic partners or toxic environments, or they just drain you. They're not giving you that love back. It's time to walk away. Sign 16. Whew. You forget what you like about them. No matter where you're on the timeline of your relationship, it may be difficult for you to remember what you liked about in your partner in the first place. So when you forget what you liked about them, basically that's the inner battle where at times you're like, especially if you're trying to convince yourself it's a twin flame relation, you're like, but they have this aspect and this aspect that I like about them. And then you start looking back at the negative traits. If they have all these negative traits or toxic behaviors, And like the list for the toxic behavior is 100%, like goes like 100, and then they only got 20 the good traits. It's time to walk away. Like I like to see the best in everybody. I try to see like that there's a light in your soul. And my past relationships, I've seen really good, loving people and the potential of awesomeness. They just weren't ready to do the awakening. And you can't force that upon them. You can't force somebody to love you. You can't just build the relationship, and you end up building the whole house, the foundation and the whole house of the relationship by yourself. And they're sitting there in a lawn chair watching you work your butt off, trying to build a relationship, and they're sipping a margarita. It doesn't work that way. In a twin flame relationship, both people pull out the hammer and they build the foundation. And then they build the house and they put the windows in. And then it's a magical connection, guys. It's a magic when you really do meet somebody who has that divine, because your heart. Sorry, guys. When you met, like, even if you take labels off of it, if it's a twin flame or soulmate, whatever you want to call it, it's magical. There's a divine connection. There's something pulling you together. It's power. It's overwhelming. They light a fire inside you so powerful and intense that you can't escape it. And that fire burns up all the negative and toxicness in you, or negative belief structures, or negative programming. And it burns away all the unhealthy aspects in you so that you can become like a magical, loving couple. That's when you know you met your twin, because it's divine. You can't escape them. As much as you try to run away from them, as much as you try not to think about them, it's like you got that magical divine pull to them, and vice versa. They have a magical divine pull to you. You guys are two mirror souls. But a false twin, let's face it, when they're away off doing whatever they're doing, they don't feel divinely pulled to you. There is not that magnetic pull. And you're sitting there like, I care about them, I love them, and you think that they're your twin, but their actions are showing you the opposite. Actions speak louder than words, my friends. Sign 17. They won't confide in you. Picking out your false twin flame may also be easier to do when you figure out that they never confide in you with their plans, ideas, or thoughts. So you sit there and you go, I'm going to do this today, I'm going to hang out with this person, and you share with them your life, your family, your friends, and you make them a integral part of your life. But yet they don't confide in you, and they keep parts of their life secret. They keep parts of whatever they do, their toxic behaviors secret. Or they don't truly, basically it's them not truly committing to you. And it has they don't have effective communication, because the reason why your communication is breaking down is because you're sitting there telling them everything that you feel and want, and they're not truly communicating with you, because they know if they're a false twin, if they say what's really on their mind and how they truly feel about you, that you're going to walk away and they're going to lose you. They're going to lose that energy source or whatever they can gain out of you. So they don't really confide in you. They maybe give you crumbs. But do they confide in you? A true twin flame, your hearts become one. Your mind, your body, your soul, everything is one. There's nothing hidden in the shadows. And if there is darkness, maybe one of your partners has toxic traits and stuff, they confide in you and say, hey, I know that I have aspects for myself I need to work on, and I need your help to help me do that. And then vice versa, you tell them your toxic traits, and then you rely on them to help you, so you guys have a healthy relationship. And then you both come together. Now one comes and gives, and the other one just runs away. That's a false twin. Your true twin flame runs towards you and does everything in his or her power to make things work for you, with you guys. So if they have to make a sacrifice, they'll make that sacrifice to make you happy. And then if you have to make a sacrifice to make them happy, but in a loving way where it doesn't hurt both of you guys. Sign number 18, there are no kind words. Meaning, like, they don't tell you they love you. They don't say, hey, you look very beautiful today. You know, like, they don't say nice things to you. You know, you may be like, wow, you look really good in those jeans, or, you know, the way the sun hits your eyes, you look amazing or stunning. But they don't really, like, tell you kind things or intimate things, you know, like, or like open up to you like that, where like, hey, I love holding on when I hug you. I love how you feel or how you make me feel. You know, you gotta understand there's also people out there that are not good at communicating, or so damaged through past relationships that they don't know how to share their affection and love. But if you truly love somebody, you're gonna do that no matter what. You're gonna say, hey, I love you. Hey, I care about you. But if there's no kind words, there, you know, like this, and you guys already know. Trust your inner knowing. You know already. Stop being in denial. You know. Sign 19. Sign 19. You don't want the same things. Once you're in a relationship with someone who doesn't want the same things as you, this is something that can certainly end a pairing quickly. Like, basically, guys, you know, like me, I want a spiritual partner. So like, if I enter a relationship with somebody, I expect them hopefully to want to be spiritual, live a spiritual, loving, positive life. You know, like, I don't like drinking and partying. So if my partner's drinking and partying, or I don't like that. Or if I'm not, I like to have a drug and alcohol free life. Yes, I may dabble in drinking once a month or every now and then. That's fine. I want a healthy relationship. But if you two don't want the same things. You know, like, you may want a committed, lasting, monogamous relationship, and they might want you, but yet they want others, or they want to pursue other things in their lives. Twin flames, or even just a good, loving partner, you guys both sacrifice certain parts of your wants to make your guys' relationship work. Then you guys want the same things. You know, like, you may have to give up this for them to do this, and it's a compromise. And that's what happens when it breaks down a lack of communication. It's because they may tell you everything that you want to hear, yet, but they tell you that everything that you want in the relationship, but yet they're doing the opposite. You know, that's very crucial. Like, you guys want different things, and you gotta get out of denial. Stop talking to yourself like, hey, this person wants to be with me. Sign number 20. This is the last and very important one, guys. The relationship is going nowhere. Let me repeat that. The relationship is going nowhere. If you've been dating for some time and there has been no improvement in either of your lives, so if there's been no improvement in either of your lives, as well as no change in how you interact with each other, this can be a negative thing. Consider if you are no closer to one another than you were the day you met. This is a clear sign that you may be another relationship out there. There might be another relationship out there for you. If you don't see no progress in the relationship, this is what happened to me. Is like, and I've been through this multiple times where I'm trying to work with my partner, trying to, you know, I compromise and try to come up with solutions, but there's no progress. Because in a twin flame relationship, or if you take labels off, let's face it, guys, some of us want a true partner, a life partner, someone we can marry, someone we can have a family with, to grow together with. But if you're with somebody for 2-3 months and nothing's changing, if you're always compromising and they're not compromising, or if they're not putting the same amount of energy into it, and nothing, it's just a circle repeating itself, that's toxic. That's a false twin. That's a false lover. They don't love you. Because if someone truly loves you, they're going to do everything in their power to make a lasting relationship with you. They're going to do everything in their power to make a lasting relationship with you. They're going to make a lasting bond. You know, and like, if you feel like you're constantly running in circles, false twin flame, get out of denial. You know, and so those were the 20 signs. And also I want people to be aware of, lastly, before I end this video, because it's over an hour long. Sometimes there is divine connections that you meet with people. You know, even if you take the label, if it's divine or soulmate or twin flame. And what happens sometimes you got to be aware of is that you may love and care for them, but they're lost. They don't know what they want yet. And you may feel that spark with them. But yet, and there is a divine, because you know in your soul. Because you guys know, your inner knowing tells you that there's a divine connection. But yet, let's say they're younger than you, or they're just not ready to settle down or whatever, but other people come into their lives to pull them down the hill, to pull them down into the darkness, or when they're doing good in their life, or because there's other negative influences out there that don't want to see a divine connection. So they'll send their minions through like psychic influence or toxic traits, and they'll just, pull, like they'll become that barrier that like pushes you apart, and you could fight for a relationship all you want, but if your person gives in to letting someone else get in between your guys' love, then you don't want somebody like that in your life. Even if there's love there, maybe they do care about you, but a true twin flame, a true relationship, your love comes first. Your love for each other comes first. You grow together. You compromise and come up with solutions together. You communicate in a healthy way. And you guys both don't do things to hurt one another. And you guys are there for each other night and day. You communicate each other night and day. They're not putting other people before you. Because let's say a true partner, like Adam and Eve in the Bible, you want a life partner. You want somebody that's going to marry you. You want someone who's going to grow old with you, help lift you up, and they lift you up. Makes you whole and complete. Your hearts become one. And if any of these signs stick out to you guys, it's one of the hardest things to do, is to learn to walk away. Even if you love them, even if you care about them, if it starts breaking you emotionally, mentally, and hurts you, walk away, because it's in the end, if you stick around, it's going to hurt you more and more and more. And if you're with a false twin flame, it's preventing you from being with your twin flame, your soul partner, your mirror self, your other half of your heart. And you guys know your other half of your hearts. Because there's a power there that is so powerful. But let's face it, some people don't want to face that because it's too difficult. That twin flame relationship is too intense. So they haven't done the soul work to unite. So they're the runner and chaser dynamic. But it's up to you. You could choose to stay in an unhealthy relationship. You could choose to let someone just drain and drain and drain you. Or you could choose to put your foot down, put yourself first, even if you're a loving, caring person, say, hey, I love and care for this person and I want the best for them, but I have to let them out of my life because it's having a negative effect on me, a negative toll on my mind and emotions. And maybe if they go get counseling and help or whatever, if they are your twin flame, then you can come back together. But don't allow anybody to come into your life and just drain and drain and drain you and not really show you they love you or care for you. So before I end this is basically how you know you're with a twin flame or a false twin flame. A twin flame shows you they love you every day, or at least every other day. They tell you they care about you, and they do everything in their power to make the relationship work. They don't slip away. False twin flame. They don't confide in you. You're unsure about if they really care about you or not. You know, like maybe even like a false twin flame, like intimacy is difficult because false twin flames, they often pursue other people. They got love triangles going on. You know, you might be their emotional lover, and then they got a physical lover, or you might be both their emotional and physical lover. But then they get tired of you because they want something else. They're unsure of what they want. They come in and out of your life. Your true lover will never leave your side. Your true lover will never leave your side. Guys, I hope this was helpful. I know I rambled on. It's a long video, but I'm trying to help you guys. This one of the hardest things to do is walk away. Walk away. Like, share, and subscribe. And God bless you guys. And I send you my love and light. You are loved. For those out there who feel unloved or unworthy of love or unworthy of a good partner, change your thinking, change your life. You are worth every penny of it. Learn to love yourself. Say, I love myself today. Even if nobody shows you that they physically love you, learn to love yourself. And then say, I call forth a loving partner, and I will not accept anything less. I will not accept somebody who brings me down all the time, or I have to constantly put work into to fix them. I'm going to only accept somebody who's loving and caring and helps build a good foundation and a loving house together, a healthy relationship together. I would no longer let somebody sit in a chair sipping a margarita while you're building on the relationship. God bless you guys. You are loved. Just know that you're loved. Think of the positive. Think about the positive people in your life. Think about the positive friends that are in your life. Then cut out all the toxic ones. God bless you, my friends. Amen.